Once we step past the age of 50, most of us begin to clearly notice changes in our bodies, changes we hardly paid attention to before. One of the most common issues is hip stiffness, reduced flexibility, and that uncomfortable feeling every time we try to bend down, sit, or stand up from a low position. This doesn't just create inconveniences in daily life, it also affects confidence, causing many people to gradually avoid movement out of fear of pain or falling. In fact, more than 60% of people over 50 experience a loss of hip mobility. The causes range from natural aging and cartilage degeneration to reduced elasticity in soft tissues and a long-term sedentary lifestyle. The hips are the body's central weight-bearing joints. When they become restricted, the effects spread to many other areas, including lower back pain, knee pain, unstable gait, and difficulty performing basic activities like stepping upstairs or putting on shoes. The unfortunate part is that many people assume this stiffness is simply a normal part of aging and cannot be improved. But in reality, that belief is completely mistaken. Modern medical research shows that with the right approach, gentle, consistent, and evidence-based hip function can be significantly restored. You can reduce pain, increase flexibility, and improve mobility in just a few weeks. The good news is, you don't need a gym, complicated equipment, or a lot of time. A simple 5-minute daily routine, verified by orthopedic surgeons, can help reverse the stiffness you thought you had to live with forever. If you're over 50 and want to regain flexibility and the ability to sit and stand with ease, this is the perfect place to start. If you're watching this video and feeling your hips getting stiffer by the day, I completely understand what you're going through. Not long ago, I was in the exact same situation. Every time I bent down to tie my shoes, it felt like my body was pushing back against me. Every morning when I woke up, that very first step was always accompanied by tightness, as if my hips had rusted overnight. At first I thought, it's probably just age. Everyone goes through this. But that mindset only made me delay taking action, allowing the problem to worsen day by day, until one morning when I tried to squat down to pick something up, and I could barely stand back up. That moment of panic pushed me to finally make a change. I started researching recovery methods, talking with orthopedic specialists and surgeons, and what surprised me most was this. With just 5 minutes of proper daily exercise, your hips can improve significantly whether you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s. I began doing that 5-minute routine every morning, and after only 3 weeks, my body changed noticeably. No more stiffness when waking up. Sitting and standing felt smoother. My walk became more comfortable and confident, and that hip jam sensation during movement almost completely disappeared. Those changes are what motivated me to share this 5-minute routine with you today. If I was able to do it, you absolutely can too. The most important thing is simply to start. And before we continue, if you want more safe, effective, doctor-approved exercises, hit like, comment I'm ready, and remember to subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Your health begins with one small action, and that action can start right now. As we step past the age of 50, many people begin to feel that their hips are no longer as flexible as they once were. Bending, rotating, taking long steps, or even just sitting down in a chair can become increasingly difficult. But why does this happen? The answer isn't just about age, but also about biological factors and lifestyle habits we rarely pay attention to. First is the natural aging process. Over time, the amount of synovial fluid in the joints decreases. This makes the cartilage surfaces drier and less flexible. And when cartilage loses its smoothness, every hip rotation or leg movement creates a feeling of tightness or uncomfortable friction. Second, the soft tissues surrounding the joint, such as muscles, tendons, and ligaments, gradually lose elasticity. Key muscle groups like the hip flexors, glutes, quadriceps, and hamstrings, when shortened or stiff, directly restrict your range of motion. That's why many people feel like their hips are stuck. Third, a sedentary lifestyle and long hours of sitting are silent but powerful contributors. Sitting for extended periods shortens the hip flexors and weakens the glutes, causing imbalance in the hip joint. When you don't use the full range of motion regularly, the joint begins to stiffen just like a hinge that hasn't been opened in a long time. Other factors such as excess weight, past injuries, mild arthritis, or improper training techniques can also make the condition worse. The good news is, most of these causes can be improved. With gentle exercises that stretch soft tissues, increase circulation, activate the glutes, and expand your range of motion, you can fully regain flexibility you thought was gone. Many people believe that improving hip stiffness requires intense workouts, going to the gym, or using complicated methods. But the truth is the complete opposite. Today, orthopedic doctors and joint surgeons recommend simple, short, and safe exercises, especially for people over 50. What makes the 5-minute method so reliable isn't just convenience, but the proven scientific mechanisms behind it. First, experts explain that joint flexibility doesn't depend solely on age. It depends on how frequently you move the joint each day. When you perform small but consistent daily movements, the joint produces more synovial fluid, which reduces friction, nourishes the cartilage, and helps the hip move more smoothly. This is why many older adults feel less stiffness after just a few days of practice. Second, this 5-minute routine focuses on deep soft tissue stretching, especially the hip flexors, glutes, and inner thighs. When these muscle groups release and open up, hip mobility increases significantly. Surgeons confirm that this flexibility not only reduces stiffness but also helps slow the progression of joint degeneration. The next important point is that this routine reactivates muscle groups that support the hips and lower back muscles that often fall asleep due to too much sitting. When these muscles are properly activated, the hips function more smoothly, distribute force more evenly, and in turn help reduce back pain, knee pain, and improve walking posture. Many doctors emphasize that even just 5 minutes a day is enough to create powerful cumulative effects. What matters is not how long you practice, but how consistently and correctly you do it. This is why the method is perfectly suited for older adults. Safe, accessible, and professionally validated. Before starting any hip-related exercises, especially for those over 50, proper warm-up plays an extremely important role. It helps wake up the neuromuscular system, warm the soft tissues, and increase blood circulation. With just 90 seconds, you can prepare your body perfectly for the main routine. Exercise 1. Gentle hip circles, 30 seconds. Stand tall with hands on your hips, feet shoulder-width apart. Lift one foot slightly off the floor and draw small circles in the air. Do 10 circles clockwise, then 10 counterclockwise. Repeat with the other leg. This movement helps lubricate the joint capsule and reduces that stuck feeling in the hips. Exercise 2. Side-to-side hip shifts, 20 seconds. Keep your torso upright and place your feet wider than shoulder-width apart. Slowly shift your hips to the left, then to the right in a smooth, controlled motion. This stretch targets the glutes and outer thighs muscles that often become tight from prolonged sitting. Exercise 3. Breath-integrated hip mobility, 20 seconds. Place both hands on your hips. Inhale deeply and gently push your hips forward. Exhale and shift your hips slightly back. Repeat this slow motion 10 times. This helps relax the hip flexors and synchronize your breath with movement. Exercise 4. Marching in place, 20 seconds. Lift your left knee to a comfortable height, then switch to the right. There's no need to lift too high, just focus on awakening the hip flexors. Exercise 5. Hip circles, 20 seconds. Stand firmly and slowly rotate your hips in a large circular motion. 5 circles to the left and 5 to the right. This is an excellent joint opening movement that releases stiffness and softens the entire hip area. Just 90 seconds of proper warm-up will help your joints move more smoothly, reduce stiffness, and prevent sudden painful motions. Now you're ready to move on to part 2, the supported hip opening squat. Once your hips are warmed up, it's time to begin the central exercise of this routine, the supported mobility squat. For people over 50, a traditional squat can be challenging due to stiff hips, weak knees, or balance issues. That's why using a chair, wall, or tabletop as support allows you to perform the movement correctly while staying completely safe. Step 1. Set up your stance. Stand in front of a sturdy chair or place your hands on the edge of a stable table. Position your feet slightly wider than shoulder-width apart with your toes turned slightly outward. Keep your back straight and eyes looking forward. Step 2. Lower down slowly. Hold the chair or wall lightly for balance. Push your hips back as if you're about to sit down. Lower yourself until you feel a gentle stretch in the hips and thighs. You don't need to go deep, just to a level that feels comfortable and pain-free. Step 3. Hold and open the hips. At the bottom position, pause for 1 to 2 seconds. Gently press your knees outward to expand your hip range of motion. Take a deep breath and relax your body. Avoid tensing up. Step 4. Stand up with control. Press through your heels and use your glutes to rise. Your hands provide balance only, not pulling your body upward. Benefits of the supported mobility squat. This exercise opens your hip range of motion, activates the glutes, reduces that hip jam feeling, and improves your ability to sit and stand during daily activities. With the added support, it remains completely safe for older adults. Just 90 seconds a day, and you'll begin to feel noticeable improvements in your stride, stability, and overall mobility. After completing the warm-up and the supported squat, we move into the final section of the 5-minute routine: deep hip opening and range of motion expansion. This step helps release long-held tension and allows the hips to move more freely. In just 90 seconds, you'll feel your hips becoming softer and more flexible. Exercise 1. Side hip openers. 30 seconds. Stand tall and hold onto a chair or wall for balance. Lift your knee to hip height, then open the leg outward as if you're swinging open a door. Perform this movement slowly, 10 times on each side. This exercise stretches the glutes, inner thighs, and joint capsule, improving external rotation of the hip. Exercise 2. Figure 4 glute stretch, 30 seconds. Stand in front of a chair and place your right ankle on your left knee to create a figure 4. Gently push your hips back as if doing a light squat and hold for 15 seconds. Switch sides. You'll feel a deep stretch in the glutes, especially helpful for muscle tightness or nerve compression that causes pain radiating down the leg. Exercise 3. Lateral hip slides, 30 seconds. Stand with your feet wider than shoulder width apart and place your hands on your hips. Slowly glide your hips to the left, hold for 1 second, then shift to the right. Perform 10 to 12 repetitions. This exercise increases joint capsule mobility and improves rotational ability, which plays a key role in stability while walking. Combining these 3 movements for 90 seconds will help release stiffness, reduce pressure on the lower back, and significantly enhance daily mobility. With that, you've completed step 3 of the 5-minute hip opening routine. To make this routine truly effective in the long run, the most important thing for adults over 50 isn't training hard or training long, but training consistently, training correctly, and listening to your body. Hips at this age require gentle but continuous care. Flexibility doesn't come in a single session. It builds slowly, day by day. You don't need to force yourself into deep or difficult positions. Simply work within a comfortable range, and gradually your hips will open, your soft tissues will become more elastic, and you'll feel the difference in every step you take. One very important note: never exercise through sharp or stabbing pain. If you feel unusual discomfort, reduce the range of motion or stop immediately. For best results, practice in the morning or after your body has warmed up. This is when the joints respond best and open most easily. Incorporate healthy habits like light walking, standing up every 45 to 60 minutes of sitting, and maintaining a healthy weight. These small changes greatly reduce stress on the hips. If you stay consistent with this routine for 2 to 4 weeks, the results may surprise you. Greater flexibility, improved stability, and a noticeable reduction in discomfort. Congratulations! You've completed the full 5-minute hip opening routine designed for adults over 50. If you'd like more scientific, gentle, and safe exercises, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so we can continue this journey toward better health together.